Hello everybody. I wanted to make this video because I tried to quit smoking cigarettes for a couple times over the years. I smoked for a pack a day, Marlboro Reds for about 15 years, and as anyone who smokes knows, or at least in my case, it got to the point where I didn't want to smoke anymore, but there really wasn't anything that I found I could do about it. Maybe I'm just weak, but it was really tough. I tried the patch, the gum, cold turkey. I actually was even prescribed Chantix. None of those things worked for me. And it got to the point where I had pretty much given up and decided that okay, I guess I'll just smoke forever. Even though I didn't want to, and again, I know this sounds strange, but that's just the way it was. Anyone who smokes knows that it's very, very difficult to quit. So, I was out one night with some friends. We were playing guitar and hanging out, and one of them got out, it was a blue cigarette, electronic cigarette. And first of all, the FDA claims that it's not an effective way to quit smoking, and it can't be marketed as a smoking cessation device. In other words, it's no good, in the FDA's opinion, to be used to quit smoking. But I was out that night, and that friend had a blue electronic cigarette. I said, "Hey, let me give that a shot." And I had tried electronic cigarettes a while back, and when I tried my friend's, his name's Mark. When I tried his electronic cigarette, it was great. I mean, it had much better vapor production. The taste wasn't the greatest, but taste is subjective. But it kind of lit a fire underneath me, under my ass. And the next day I went out looking around, couldn't find those blue electronic cigarettes, but I did find, the brand was Enjoy, and it's disposable. It's like $8. Supposed to be the same as 2 packs of cigarettes. Now that's not true. It didn't last that long, and so going the disposable route, the taste wasn't very good. Again, taste is subjective. Some people may like the Enjoy brand, but it wasn't the greatest for me. So I started looking into maybe ordering something else, because in my area there's no store that sells these things. So what I realized fairly quickly was, there's a incredible amount of stuff out there, and it can be very confusing, trying to get into it. And when you're first looking, it's hard to know what's what. I would recommend anyone who does want to look into this to go to the ECF, which is the Electronic Cigarette Forum. Just Google, even if you just Google ECF, it'll come up. Do a little research. I can tell you that I did waste a lot of money in the beginning trying different things. I tried the Ego batteries, I tried a whole lot of things. And I'm going to recommend anyone who wants to try this, kind of ponies up right in the beginning and get something appropriate, right away. I got what you see here, this is a Provari, which is a variable voltage device. So you can change the level, and will give you different performance depending on what kind of atomizer or cartomizer that you put on it, anywhere from 2.9 to 6 volts. But I'm not gonna get into much of that. A lot of people don't buy a Provari because they say it's too expensive, but I'll tell you what, if I would just pony up and buy it. Either buy this, or for less money, this is a great, I'm actually going to probably recommend this a little bit higher. I would recommend getting some cartomizers. It doesn't really matter what resistance you get. Get 1.5 or 3 ohm cartomizers. Those will allow you to put the e-liquid inside. You don't need the tank, it's not necessary. You could start with just the cartomizer. You can put the juice in there. I like Backwoods Brew for juice. I would recommend getting a tobacco juice in the beginning. So go to Backwoods Brew. Don's a great guy. Buy some any one of the tobacco flavors there. I like Hunter's Blend or Bacco, or even the Adirondack is good. I really haven't had a bad one from Don. But buy some juice from Don, or if you have a local shop, buy some there. Cartomizers, doesn't matter what resistance you get, if you get a kick. So I would recommend, so far, cartomizers, which aren't very expensive. Get Bogue, B-O-G-E cartomizers. I would recommend, this here's a Smoke-Tech Bolt. It's about 30 bucks. Get the extension, which you see here, this middle part. Get the extension and a Smoke-Tech bolt. Get some 18500 batteries, AW. These are actually 18490s, but same thing. Get some of these batteries, or if you don't want to spend that much, get something else. But again, I recommend spending a little bit more in the beginning, because let me tell you, you'll save money in the long run. This Smoke-Tech bolt works great, and I would also recommend getting a kick, because you'll find as the battery dies, the vapor drops down and is less, doesn't really hack it. So I would recommend getting the kick. It goes inside here, and you can set your wattage. I would say set it to about 8, between 8 and 9. Closer to 9 will work. You will have to sand the inside of this. Maybe just use a Dremel or even some sandpaper so that spring right there can connect. But if you get the things that I just said, I'm confident that you will be able to quit smoking. And it's at least worth a shot. If it doesn't work out, you can sell this stuff on the ECF for not a huge loss. If you have flashlights that use an 18650 battery, you can get another extension for this and use those same batteries. But I'll tell you, I think it's worth spending a little bit more. Do your research first. Do the research. Spend a little bit more up front, and you'll save money in the long run. And I'll tell you, it worked for me. It's been probably 3 months since I've had a cigarette, and I did try one just for kicks when I was with a friend, and it's I wouldn't even want to go back. This really has worked for me, and I that's why I want to make this video. It's a little bit off topic for what I normally do video wise, but I kind of just wanted to relay my success with it, and some of the things that I struggled with as far as again, I would recommend spending more up front, get it over with, because once you've got the battery mod, once you've got the PV, the vaporizer, the personal vaporizer, you're really only going to have to buy cartomizers and e-liquid, and you'll save yourself money, and I have a hard time believing that anyone would have trouble with this. I've got 2 friends who have also quit smoking since I kind of helped them along and gave them some pointers. They benefited from my, the mistakes I made by buying things, that just didn't work. So I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody has. You know, there are some unknown questions, but as far as long-term health risks. But if you buy an American-made e-liquid where you know the guy, you know what's in it. I wouldn't buy e-liquid from China, decaying. Although I'm sure it's tastes just fine. There's no reason to buy e-liquid from China. Buy it from the U.S. Someone like Don at Backwoods Brew has an amazing track record because he does a great job. And I think it can work for just about anybody, except for maybe the person who just doesn't want to quit. Who doesn't want to quit smoking. So. As you can see, it puts out plenty of vapor. Tastes better than cigarettes. And fairly quickly, I began to taste things again. It didn't feel as crappy in the morning waking up. I seemed to be able to breathe better when I like to go hiking and outdoors, and it seemed to feel much better. And again, it's only been 3 months, so. That's it. Obviously, I can't go over everything in this video. It's just, I just wanted to relay my success with it. And it's something that has worked for me and a couple of my friends. And if you get the right equipment and the right e-liquid, I think it could work for anyone. I really do. So I won't hold you guys up any longer. Again, this is way off topic from my normal videos, but just wanted to throw it out there. If anyone's got any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Good luck, if you decide to go for it, good luck. And I think it's, again, I think it's the right move. So, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.